Draw Something is outdoing Angry Birds. And here to talk about it is Tricia Duryee from All Things D. How you doing, Tricia?
Good, I'm great.
So, just to backtrack for a second, Draw Something is sort of like a game app that's like Pictionary, and it has surpassed Angry Birds again in popularity. Explain, please.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Right, so Angry Birds Space came out about 15 days ago, and at that time, Draw Something was the #1 game on the iPhone. And then Zynga purchased the company, OMG Pop, for $180 million. Critics at that point sort of believed that they overpaid, which sort of their theory on that was fueled by Angry Birds coming out the next day after the acquisition closed and surpassed Draw Something on the charts. But it took only 15 days for Draw Something to slingshot back over Angry Birds, so to speak.
So, Tricia, are the critics silenced, do you think?
Well, I think people are going to not be as vocal about the decision by Zynga to make this purchase. We still have a long ways to go. Who knows if they actually overpaid for it, but they definitely have a hit on their hands.
George, have you played this game?
I have.
It is ruining my life right now. And in fact, our producer, Alva Ramirez, it's your turn to draw something. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. But no, I swear, it's so addictive. And I love the idea, and I love Tricia and Peter did a lot of coverage on this when the acquisition was happening. And I love how in the history of the game, the idea came from this thought that a game doesn't have to necessarily have a winner. It's just this constant back and forth, and you're building something, but you're not really building towards something. And I just love that. It's completely addictive.
Yeah, and I think a lot of
now I'm done
with
my commercial for Zynga, by the way.
But
that was not what my intention was. I just love it.
But that raises a question. Does the popularity of Draw Something and the fact that it's supplanted Angry Birds, does that say something about the game itself? Does that say something about maybe the waning interest in Angry Birds? Or does that say something more about the people who are playing it?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm looking at is how many people actually play daily versus, pick it up a couple times a month. And there's actually those statistics available. And when the game first came out, 70% of people were playing it on a daily basis. And that's an insanely high number. Like a good number is like 20%. So, and right now the numbers have dropped to about 45%. Which, as you can tell, is still pretty high. It's higher than Zynga's other popular hit, Words with Friends, which is an easy game to play every day, like Scrabble.
Tricia, is there any data that shows whether or not this game is detracting away from the active usage of other Zynga games?
I don't think that's the way Zynga works. I think Zynga is very good at leveraging a big user base on one game and then bringing those users to the other game. So I actually think the opposite effect will happen, and if they bought these users from OMG Pop, and they're going to bring those users over to their other games that are like-minded.
And what's the business model for Draw Something?
It's virtual goods inside the game. You can buy a 99-cent version of the game, which doesn't have ads. That's actually the one that's slingshotted over Angry Birds and is the #1 game. Or you could just have the free version, which has ads in it. But inside the game, you can buy more colors, which make it easier to draw the drawings, with like flesh tones for people and, green for grass. The standard colors that come with your palette don't include those colors. So it's easy to get sucked in and wanting to buy these other colors. You can also purchase these bombs, which allow you to eliminate some of the letters from the gameplay so that you can more easily guess what someone else is drawing.
You haven't bought any colors yet, have you?
I have not bought any colors.
Oh, you have to go for like the sherbet palette. You gotta get brown. You don't start with brown. I'm not addicted. I'm fine.
Thanks, Tricia, for coming on and talking about Draw Something. Have a good day.